Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Onslaught Legends Series Day 6. Always a mental reminder to remember that. We're halfway off, but we still have some bangers coming up. Cashback against Mafia. A pretty interesting match. A rematch of the last chance qualifier finals.
They've had narrow losses against Hit and Run and Storm as well. Predictions here, 63% in favor of Cashback, which is, I'd say, on balance, pretty fair. 37%, still very respectable. I don't know that it's so much that they're taking a while to warm up. I think they just, it's the way it goes. So, you know, everyone can't win every single match that they play, right? And Cashback, they are not at the top of the leaderboard, but they are looking to improve their standings. Now, the full Ukrainian team, they've got some superstar players in there. Liberty normally maining the RHM, doing a very good job there, and we know how important those RHMs are to victory.
Of course, but Twitch chat will tell you that Barbarian is the #1 player the world has ever seen. Moff.
Yes, and I find that to be very accurate. Mafia, they've got a lot of superstars themselves. Obviously, several players in their team lineup that have been to China before, so they're all very experienced.
You can recognize the ones that are not wearing the black T-shirt.
And Cashback are allowing it to happen, so they must feel pretty confident.
Yeah, they must feel pretty confident, but because no joke, Ensk is their most played map, 5 battles and 4 on Airfield, with respectively 60 and 50% win ratio. So it's interesting that, you know, we are heading on a map that Cashback has seen no action on in the Onslaught Legends series whatsoever. But I'm gonna see some action on it today as they come into round #1 with a mouse double V4, an E3 and E4, a WZTD, and the Tesak.
Yeah,
it's time. It's time.
The Tesak is being brought out.
It's the second time.
We've been talking about it. Yeah, we saw it on Pilsen before, but it's a far different prospect to bringing it on a map. Like, initial shot taken from Marcel as he crosses over towards the city. We're in Liberty's POV as he's looking for who to plane here. He's got a level 3 plane available. He's preparing to plane the sort of J5, K5 sort of area, which is where the TDs normally sit on rails, and it does come in. He spots out Olszek, so info provided for his team there, but there's no shots given because the entire rest of his team is coming up behind him. And they're actually going to push the field here. YOLO has taken some damage in the meantime while we were looking at the plane perspective, and they're actually just going to push over. And there's no one from Mafia here to cover. There's only 3 tanks on this side of the map. They look to have found an opening.
They have found an opening, and that comes off the back of the plane from Liberty. He was checking K5 to see how many TDs would be ready and able to cross over. And what did they see? A singular E4. And that was enough for them. And here he comes, tracking, continuously tracking Conrad still.
Oh my god. It is working like a dream.
Funny. It's actually working. He picks up the kill against the E3. Who is the Juggernaut, says Liberty. I am the Juggernaut. As now, though, Mafia coming back in, but it's all over, Moff. I mean, they're down 6k, they're down 2 guns. They've gotten absolutely schooled on their most played map.
Yeah, this map was over before it started. Liberty POV again showcasing the abilities of the Tesak as it comes in. He's got an A-chip clip potentially loaded up, and he's just perma-tracking poor Barkis. It's not really meaning anything because he can't go anywhere, but he perma-tracks him nonetheless.
It's so funny.
Just having fun out there.
It's so funny. He's going to do it again to somebody. The question is who. I think Bak was like, I'm not using my ability anymore. I don't want to use my ability. He's just absolutely refusing to use it, then he just dies as well. Liberty is still with a full clip available now.
Pin.
This is an actual pim pam, as Alex would say. That's so funny. We were speculating though, could the Tesak find very limited use into this kind of gameplay where he just perma-tracks somebody and makes sure that they don't get to shoot anymore at all?
Yeah, and he's been preparing for it as well. He's still, like, even in this week, he's been playing a lot of Tesak. I've played against him myself in it as well. It's quite the nuisance when you're in the RHM and he's got an HE clip loaded up and ready to go. But that is victory in round #1 for Cashback, and you can kind of understand why they didn't want to play the map until now, because they have leaked their strat. It is the Tesak. Yeah, and the WZTD being that tank in field. It's not like, it's got armor, but it's not like the most difficult to pen. Want to calculate that pen rate again? 2k damage,
around,
2 kills.
I don't know, something around 70%, I guess.
Yeah, huge shots coming out there from Liberty. He didn't really need to do any damage, even the game was already won. Look at the assistance though, it's 4.6k tracking assist.
68 apparently, is what my calculator says. Initial cap play and a big shot against Barbarian as well without ability. 763 taken there on towards that VZTD. Can he retaliate for this? He can actually. Good shot against Barker. 697 in return. Info and strike being taken for the side of Cashback. Info for the side of Mafia, who in the beginning again have received slightly more damage, I think, by one shot. They are going to have to do something though, because cap is not going to work.
Yeah, and they are making a move. Profuse leaving the cap and crossing the open, takes one from Little, probably going to take another one from Barbarian if he wants to cross that street. And sometimes this is the difficulty with playing on maps like Ents. There's always another tank destroyer pre-aimed on a corner, but they're going to target Little, who activates his Juggernaut ability, going to do significantly less damage. The strike is coming in as well. That's going to hit almost 3 people. Profuse just about manages to avoid it. They're down in HP though, and they're in a crossfire. The Mafia gun Squeezy is there in the side, and Little is down to below half health, but he is still alive and kicking and able to return fire.
Yeah, Little even picks up Barkis, and this play from Mafia, this aggressive play, not working off. They tried to do it because Cashback had those 2 tanks on the eastern side, the 7-0 line, but they were back in time to save Little, and now we can see the result of this though. Barkis dead. Orchek to follow. The HP is within manageable territory for Cashback and Mafia, but once Orchek falls, it's another gun down, then Profuse is the next one, and it's really domino day over here for Mafia as they are getting absolutely pounded by Cashback, who again up until today did not play this map in the also Legend series, but are going to walk away on it with a 100% win ratio over 2 battles, really showing Mafia that we may not have played it yet, but we were definitely prepared to do so.
Yeah, Cashback, dominant early display here. Already going to be putting themselves onto match point. The nature of these best of 5s going by so quickly. YOLO cannot escape. He may be able to get a pen on the E3. It's going to be difficult though with 395 heat pen. He bounces the shot, so it's going to be all 7 guns. And a ram kill just for a little bit of BM at the end from Cashback. All of them staying alive.
And then Cashback just came back in and said, "Hello, how are you doing?"
Yeah, it was kind of a half-assed effort to try and get the kill on towards Little, and you do kind of wonder what their plan was there, because they didn't have any kind of plan to counter the strike in the field, right? And that's always going to get taken by the opposition if you go for these kind of cap plays. So you kind of wonder what the initial idea was there. Perhaps it just looks bad because they got hard countered from, and starts taking the radio as well. So early info, early trade's going to be slightly in favor of Mafia. Liberty's just going to have to sit tight and wait for a timing to be able to push on towards Kono, but early info for Mafia.
Kono might actually just try and trade off the HP though. He could if he wants to. EBR kind of annoying to hit there, Moff.
It is, because obviously Liberty can only do 1 shot at a time, so if he trades 1 for 1, it's actually not that bad. And they have controlled the strike as well, but Cashback don't want to let them have it. They're going to push straight back into this. The Mino Tower is going to come in from the top, but Eyes taking so much initial damage, already down to 700 HP. They will kill Profuse for this, though. There needs to be a reaction from Mafia.
Mafia needs to come back in, and Marcel is doing exactly that. He will pick up Iset as Profuse is still alive at this moment in time, and the HP lead pretty significant right now for the side of Mafia, but that could swing rather quickly. Kono still trading it off with Liberty, who is down towards a low HP though, 671, and if he falls, Moff, with the HP that Mafia has, they will have all the positions to close down this game, and there's no way that Liberty survives there either. And Mafia in round number 1 looking like a different team than what we saw in Ensk.
Yeah, it's a very dominant display so far. The batch out of Comrade flanking behind the Mino Tower. The repush comes in here. Little is got only a little bit of HP left remaining. The ram kill comes in from Barkiz, and this round is going in the favor of Mafia. They bring it back. They were on match point. They were down to match point. They had to win this round, and they did. The EBR looked to be really good, though. Looked to be a very good counter to that bat chat brought by Liberty.
Yeah, and Konos even was full HP until that ram there from Aka. And it's going to be Mafia, convincing fashion, to pick up round number 1. That's exactly what they needed, bringing them back in this match. One more, and they're back on track for potential 3 points. And that's the beauty of this tiebreaker system, and also the downside of it, that you can still get the full haul if you are able to turn it around.
Even brought HP boost, perhaps.
I actually don't know what's the HP of EBR in Onslaught.
Well, it's plus 650 from base, and EBR base HP is 1300, so it'd be 1950. So he probably, he would have HP boost, wouldn't he? Because he had 2.2, 2.2k. But it's still a pretty good tank, and obviously when it gets hull down, it's almost impossible to deal with. Kono is going to go to the north in his Batchat. Liberty is doing the exact same thing that Kono did in the previous round. Kono a bit more cautious this time though. Will not commit. He's thinking about it, but he decides to not go for it. He gets a shot received from Liberty, who takes the info tower, and it's this time Cashback who have the early info.
Liberty and Kono just trading one off, and now though it will be the similar story to round number 1 move. Cap, strike will be taken by Cashback. I mean, I said exactly the same way as his teammate, as the Mafia 60p player actually in the last round, taking a shot on the way there. But outside of that, now Mafia has to do something.
Yeah, but Mafia have a different idea here. They're going to pincer the cap. So their idea is that anyone that comes on to reset, they're going to be able to peek them instantly and try and delete those tanks. The strike will come in. Iced has collected that, so they will be able to delay the cap for a little bit of time, but this is Mafia's idea, and they don't have anyone in the back from the side of Cashback to punish.
Conrad and Hellmine just trading it off right now. Hellmine tries to make a shot, but doesn't connect. They do indeed have the strike, and they may be needing to use it as well. And the thing that they don't have, what some teams do have, Moff, is for example that Griller, right, to counter this kind of play that Marcel is doing right now. And if they want to hold the cap, I mean, I'm almost certain that Mafia will be going for some sort of a aggressive counterplay.
Yep, and here they come, the Cashback guns. They're all moving in as a pack, and there's a big strike. It's going to hit 3 people in the end, and Hellmine taking so much initial damage here. This is exactly what Mafia wanted. All the trades going in their favor. Marcel takes quite a chunk himself, but that's exactly what Mafia want. They want the mouse to take that damage. The Batchat is clipping behind on towards Comrade, though, so he's going to try and peek forward and not avoid that, but he's peeking into 5 more guns. They're both just trying to push into each other here as they look for positive trades. YOLO flanking from behind in the Mino Tower. The Batchat of Kono is going to come into the fight as well, and now the EBR from Liberty just must feel a little bit useless here.
Yeah, the EBR right now not really an impacting factor whatsoever, and Cashback on Airfield seem to not have done the preparation they needed compared to Ensk. I mean, it's getting close to 1000 HP between the two. Can they find Marcel now without losing too much? Little and Iset will have to do it. Iset dropped towards a one-shot in return for that. Little bouncing the shot, fluffing it even, you want to call it that way. That is going to give Marcel an opportunity to potentially kill Iset, but no, Kono is actually going to be the one to come in with the Batchat to do so. With that Batchat 25T surviving the whole round. Gets one in return from Iset though, but still though, Moff. 5 versus 3, Little trying to back off. They need to kill Profuse. They did kill Profuse, but still, it's not looking like something that Cashback could bring back.
No, just 2 tanks left, and Little is going to fall shortly. And a very good round from Mafia. They showed that it is possible to play the North without actually having control of the strike and the radio initially. And the EBR, the way they played, they kind of made him redundant.
Yeah, but they have to block the cap though.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Mafia were counting on. And because they did it so quickly as well, they didn't dawdle, they didn't like wait around for just some kind of info to come in. They had their strategy and they went straight for it. They pushed the Mino Towers into the cap, and Cashback didn't really have time to organize any kind of strategy of how to counter it. Liberty had no time to play. No time to play and try and make any kind of flanking maneuvers. He picks up a kill just to be a little bit more annoying, but with 18 seconds left on the cap, he's going to have to do some incredible armor angling, which does not happen.
My Ghost does not lose that. YOLO has to be cheating.
It's not going to be Pilsen because Cashback banned that out. It cannot be Ensk because we played that already. It cannot be Airfield because they played that already.
Great deduction so far, Moff. Absolutely.
I'm going to go with Westfield.
I actually don't have a clue, but I can look it up for you if you want me to. Would you want me to?
It's Studzianki.
Is it Studzianki?
Yes. Could go either way.
Safe bets, right? Tiebreakers.
Yep. I mean, that's the way you do the predictions, right? You either predict tiebreaker if you think the teams are somewhat evenly matched, and if it's not a close, or you don't think it's going to be a close match, you give the worst team the 1 round credit so that you don't look too harsh.
I didn't even remember that I voted for Mafia. So
interesting tank.
Which one? The Udas?
No. Look at the bottom. Oh, never mind. He switched.
Moff, you have to wait at least 10 seconds.
We need to wait until 5 seconds before.
Because they're trolling a little bit.
Because they're switching. Yeah.
Udas, double Blitzka, 4 to 6-8v4s for Cashback.
Mafia are bringing triple 268v4 themselves. Double CS and a batch at a Centurion AX. So actually, considering that it is Studzianki, a pretty light lineup. But neither team are bringing the light tank.
Which is weird.
It is weird.
I mean,
on such an open map.
There's definitely going to be some factory fights in the beginning.
Yeah, that's for sure. Double CS, Barkiz and Kono, they look like they're going to torpedo straight into that middle strike, and if there's any resistance from Cashback, they'll probably run all the way to the south. We've got the Udes and the Sentai-X who are both going to go to the north and have a private 1v1 over there. Kono taking quite a bit of damage early on. That's not what they would have liked. I think he might have... Was he maybe hesitating a little bit, or was he just a little bit behind? But the double CS is very vulnerable here. They're going to get torpedoed straight back in, and this could be not safe for television as Liberty, Barbarian, and Little, they all push in. Oof. And Kono gets deleted immediately. They will trade it off by picking up the kill on Ice. Barkiz has done a good job here of trying to get out of the dip and provide crossfire, but Little's there to block him off, and he's going to go down as well.
That CS63 combination from Mafia getting deleted. Not the tank you want in that position. Like, sure, they traded off Ice for that, Moff, but in return, look at that. In the north, you see Twilight in the Udas somehow destroy Orchek in the Sentai-X, and Cashback smells blood in the water at this point. I mean, Mafia, they're interesting, but their lineup ended up being a little bit too light, in my opinion, to fight against this, especially when you lose the double CS that early, that quickly. You have then the bad shot as well that's not contributing, and Cashback is just rolling up and over because they have that lineup that doesn't need to stop, that doesn't need to reload, and it's not squishy whatsoever. They find Profuse, and it leaves Conrad and Marcel as the last two standing, and Cashback, they extend the series a little bit with their lackluster Airfield. Or Mafia was definitely the better team, but at the end of the day, they will still walk away with 3 points in this match as they are closing out the final 2 kills. Conrad and Marcel, both a 1 shot. It's going to be Mafia on 3. Mafia on 3, Mafia on 2, Cashback on 3 for them to pick it up. Bits, they would have probably liked to do it on Airfield, but still works.
A win is a win, and that's all that matters. 3 points on the board. They moved themselves up the table a little bit, and that was quite the violation, I would have to say. The double CS pushing into the strike early on, and they don't have info either, so they don't know what's coming. They cannot really prepare for it, and this is something that you see quite a lot in random onslaught, is one guy or 2 guys just YOLOing into the strike very early on, and then the team isn't really ready to support them. No,
I didn't like the double CS, and even they were shielding to try and take a strike. I think that's another mistake. No, like
no, it's like the value of taking the strike versus it's not that important, guys. You know, it's like pretty useful, damage, but it's not.
Like, let's say it's 800 damage on average for these teams because you'll hit 2 tanks, right?
Yeah, but it's not worth sacrificing 2 full tanks for. Comrade did a good job, penning all 11 shots, but he just padded the stats a little bit when the game was basically already over. Twilight won the 1v1 in the center versus the Sentai-X in the north, and I think that's probably because Orshek was distracted with trying to focus on towards middle, so the Udes was able to just sort of creep up on him and get the initial shot in there. But that is that. That's match 3 of the day done and dusted. Cashback take the win, and it's just Solyanka versus Conquest to go.
We're perfectly on schedule almost today. It's crazy.